All right, we are going live. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to an incredible episode of the Influencer Mindset Podcast. Today, we have the honor of hosting a truly remarkable individual who has inspired countless lives with his journey of resilience, compassion, and unwavering positivity. Join me in welcoming the one and only Barry Shore, also known as the Ambassador of Joy. Barry Shore is an extraordinary individual who, despite facing immense adversity, has managed to turn his life around and create a profound impact on the world. Overnight, he was paralyzed from a rare disease, but he didn't let that define him. Instead, he built a system that enables people to live in joy every day. Barry is also a mental health activist, successful entrepreneur, best-selling author, and sought after business consultant. Moreover, he has founded and nurtured the worldwide Keep Smiling movement, spreading joy and making a difference in millions of lives. Today, we dive deep into Barry's inspiring story, his insights on the influencer mindset, and how he has achieved remarkable success in multiple areas of his life. Get ready for a captivating conversation filled with valuable lessons and a contagious dose of joy. But before, few words on our from our sponsors, anywherekosher.com. Anywhere Kosher is a fantastic community-driven social networking platform designed exclusively for like-minded Jews worldwide. It provides a safe and kosher environment where you can connect, share, and grow together. Find the link below this video to join anywherekosher.com. Now, without further ado, let's welcome Barry Shore to the Influencer Mindset Podcast. Barry, how are you feeling today?
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved immortal beings, and good-looking people, and that wonderful Uzi. How can I make the categorical statement that all the thousands or tens of thousands of people that are watching or will be watching are all good-looking? Because by definition, if they tuned into your show, The Influencer Mindset, it means they're always looking for and finding the good in life. That's a good-looking person looking for and finding the good in life, no matter the circumstances. Thank you for enabling me to be here with you today.
You are welcome. I can say that your energy is just amazing. Just the vibe. I just really, really feel lucky to have you here on this podcast. And Barry, I want to ask you your journey from paralysis to becoming the ambassador of joy is truly inspiring. Can you take us through the pivotal moments and mindset shifts that allowed you to embrace joy despite your circumstances? Because,
With pleasure and delight. And I want to make mention of three things right off the bat. We're going to discuss what I call the three fundamentals of life. And these three fundamentals will enable you, because this show is all about you. It's not about Uzi, great guy that he is, or me, wonderful fellow. It's about you. The three fundamentals of life are going to enable you to be happier, healthier, and wealthier. Who doesn't want that? Hello. So we're
yeah,
going to be doing two things. Number one, a huge thank you to wonderful Uzi for inviting me and for using the introductory script that was written by my mother. She's very happy with everything you said. In heaven, of course, but she's smiling down. So the three fundamentals of life are number one, your life has purpose. And when you lead a purpose driven life, number two happens. Now, in this case, a good number two, you go mad. Now, MAD is a wonderful acronym that stands for make a difference. You lead a purpose driven life, you make a difference in the world. And the third fundamental is to uncover the power and the secrets of everyday words and terms. Give you a simple example. The word smile. because that's what energizes me and you, wonderful Uzi. And this movement that we have called the Keep Smiling movement, which you're right, has not just touched, but really deeply touched millions and millions of people around the planet. SMILE is a wonderful acronym that stands for Seeing Miracles in Life Every Day. You hear that? Seeing miracles in life every day. Now, I must say, for our particular audience, it's very, very important to speak about that from the Jewish point of view, because it is the foundation of the Jewish worldview. You see, when we say in Shmona Esrei, every single day, 3 times a day, men and women, young boys and girls, and in the Modim part of Shmona Esrei, we say the words, V'al nisecha shebechol yom imanu. And we say, we thank you for the miracles that we see every day. That's what SMILE stands for, seeing miracles in life every day. Now, I have to tell you a great story, because you hear this wonderful song called What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong, Satchmo. Most people know it. It just didn't go just viral and touch tens of millions or hundreds of millions, billions of people around the planet. Now, whenever you hear the opening bars of What a Wonderful World, what do you do right away? You can't help but you smile. So I said, smile is this great word that animates you, touches you deeply, and you feel already better for hearing the song and thinking about it. But let's do the next step. Let's take a quick story about Barry Shore so we can set the stage so everybody understands, and then we'll move forward. So imagine, if you can, standing up in the morning. It happens to be, by the way, again, because of our world we're talking, it was the second day of Rosh Hashanah, 19 years ago. It was the year 2004. Second day Rosh Hashanah, leading into Shabbat. I'm standing, I went to shul, come home, 2 o'clock or so, going to rest, and went to lay down for a nap because going to go back to shul for Shabbat. When I got up for my nap, I fell down. I said, that was odd. Okay, picked myself up, dressed myself, walked to the front of the house, sat in a chair, and never moved again. Never moved. Completely.
Wow.
I was already paralyzed within a few minutes. I called my son. I said, Ezra, hello, Papa can't move. All right, what do you do? I asked him to go to the shul and bring a friend of ours who's a doctor. And he looks at me and he calls on Rosh Hashanah, he calls his brother, who is my primary care physician, and says, his brother says, get him to the hospital. Now you got to go back 19 years. Remember, no Uber. So we go to Ezra goes to the rabbi and asks him what to do. Rabbi Hollander comes to the house. He personally calls on Rosh Hashanah. He calls a taxi cab company. It took 3 men to pick me up, get me into the taxi, and accompany me, my son, to accompany me to the hospital. And I told my wife, I'm sure we'll be home after Shabbat. Hello? You don't just get paralyzed. It must be something odd, right? Well, 144 days later, I come home from the hospital. So I was in the hospital
Wow.
144 days, totally paralyzed, by the way. I mean, we're talking about all I could do was blink my eyes to communicate in the first few days. I was what's called a quadriplegic. Nothing in my body moved from my neck down, completely, totally paralyzed. And I was like that in the hospital. I was 2 years in a hospital bed in my own home, couldn't turn over by myself. I was 4 years in a wheelchair. I had braces on both my legs, my hips to my ankles. That was progress. Thank God today, Uzi, I am able to be vertical and ambulatory with the help of a 7-foot walking wand. I have my Moshe Rabbeinu staff, and so I'm a triped, not a biped. I can't walk up a stair by myself. I can't walk up a curb by myself. I have help 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. But you hear my voice. Positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant. It's all because of this one word. Smile. But I got to tell you a quick story. My 8-year-old niece comes over to me a few weeks ago, and she says, Uncle Barry, can we spell smile S-M-I-E-L? I thought about it. Smile, sounds the same. Why not? I asked her how come. She says, because then it would stand for seeing miracles in everyday life. Out of an 8-year-old, the mouth of babes. What was she doing, though, Uzi? She was creating the kind of world that she wants to live in. Now, CREATE is a great acronym. Remember, talking about acronyms, causing rethinking, enabling all to excel. So as you pointed out in the beginning of the show, it is really about rethinking what happens to you in life. And we call that a shift in perspective. Now, I'll tell you a fun story. I've been working with people for 42 plus years, helping lots of people. And in these 42 years, I found that 97.2% of people drop the F in shift, and the other stuff happens. You have to be careful to keep your F in place, or else you get the other stuff. So, my newest book is called Oh Shift. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you a quick picture of it because I think you're going to smile. Okay, are you ready, Uzi?
Yeah. Oh my
Anybody
God.
watching? See where the F is? You got to keep that F in place, right?
Wow.
It's really about a shift in perspective. Now, we're talking shift, we're talking something small. It's not huge. It's just the ability to rethink. And it's all based around 6 words. You ready?
Yeah.
These 6 words are choice, not chance, determines your destiny. Choice, not chance, determines your look. I could be paralyzed overnight. Not an automobile accident, not a spinal injury, a rare disease I never heard of the day before took over my body, right? How I responded is the key. Was I crying? Or were they saying, okay, I caught a spinal? What am I supposed to do now?
So you chose to see the good in it
Absolutely.
and to come out of it more powerful than you were before.
With absolute yes.
That
Before,
is,
I was a happy fellow. I was filled with life. Now I have a mission to spread this. I want to touch millions, if not billions, of people around the planet because I speak very frequently, as you know, and I speak about things that touch people. Again, people want to be happier, healthier, and wealthier, right? That's what you want. Well, it's
yeah.
all about what I call the T word. The T word, Uzi, is I'm a trans lover. You hear this? I'm very, very current. What's the T word? Transformation. See, people think they need more information about how to be happier. You don't need more information. There's plenty of information in the world. And people think you need inspiration. Wow, listen to Barry Shore or this guy or that woman or that. You don't need inspiration because you know what happens inspiration? Yeah, let's go. And then 3 days later, okay, regular life. What people really want is transformation. How do you do that? And that's the genius of life. The word joy. Want to hear something wonderful? It's going to change your life. Ready?
Yes.
Joy stands for journey of you. Wow! Journey of you. That's joy. Isn't that wonderful?
Yes. That is incredible. So Barry, you mentioned the importance of giving, right? And the joy it brings. But you know what? Before that questions, I wanna go into the concept of influence. And and you know that the concept of influence can take many forms. How do you define influence? And what role does it play in creating positive change in the world? Because at the end of the day, we want we have a mission that only us could do in the world according to many disciplines, and especially the Torah. We were sent here specific for a specific mission to influence the world, and every human being is an influencer to some degree. But for you, Barry, specifically, because your mission is really unbelievable. It's great. So what role does it play in creating positive change in the world? The
So,
definition of your influence.
okay, I'm going to shock everybody. First of
Please.
all, people like jogging, right? You're asking about dealing. They like to jog because it feels good. Well, jog stands for joy of giving. So when you're jogging and you're running, you think joy of giving. So I'm going to tell you, from my point of view, the greatest influence that anybody can have in this world is the following. Ready?
Yes.
Learn to love dog poop. What did Barry Shore just say? Learn to love dog poop. Am I shocking you? Do I have your attention?
You definitely got my
Okay.
attention on this one.
Why do I say this? Because let's be very, very clear on something. Clarity is one of the most important aspects of successful living. Clarity. I'm 74 chronologically. I'm 48 metabolically because I swim 2 miles a day, which we'll talk about a little later. We'll get to that. My mental acuity is 28 because I work with a lot of 20 to 30-year-olds on the internet and doing things, building businesses. And my SOW is 8. So people can say SOW. What is Barry Shaw talking about? SOW. What is that? SOW stands for sense of wonder. My sense of wonder is I'm an 8-year-old, right? Now you want to keep it somewhere between 6 and 9. You don't want to get into double digits because you get to double digits already, your sense of wonder is going away. Keep it around 6, 7, 8, 9, and your world is just opening up. So why do I say learn to love dog poop? So let's talk about acronyms. Dog poop stands for doing of good, power of one person. As an influencer in life, everybody is being watched by somebody. If you're married, guess what? Your spouse is watching you, and how you treat your spouse makes a difference in the world, not just in your household. It makes a difference in the world because of the ripple effect. It's the same thing with children. Children, even more so. Every child is watching the parent. What do you say? How do you say it? How do you act? How do you behave when something goes differently than you want? Remember, choice, not chance. Do you choose to respond in a loving, gentle, quiet way instead of getting upset? So everybody's an influencer. What is this about dog poop? Well, everybody knows what dog poop is. And when you hear it, you go, ooh, I don't like it. Yeah, well, watch this. Remember the acronym, doing of good. See, we are beings that are designed to be able to do good in the world. What I call a spiritual chiropractor, Uzi. You want to align your thoughts in good, your words in good, your deeds in good. You want to be a doer of good. And here's where it gets really interesting. Poop, power of one person. So you smile, you think about it. Wow, what does that mean? If you don't realize that you have the same power as we'll use in the general world, a Gandhi. You don't have the same power as an Elon Musk. No, of course not. I don't have that same. Yes, you do. We all know the famous Rambam. And if you don't, I'm going to say it. The
Please.
Rambam holds that every single Jew, every single person can be a tzaddik as great as Moshe Rabbeinu. I didn't say that. I couldn't say that. Every single human being can be as great as the greatest tzaddik in the history of the world. And here's what gets amazing. When you begin to even think like that, and you act like that, and you reach out to a friend on your right and a friend on your left, and you influence them. Remember the power of one person. So now you're talking about two people, and two becomes four becomes 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 526, thousand. Nothing in the world, Uzi, Moses, nothing in the world can prevent and stop the transmission of positive, purposeful, powerful, pleasant energy. That's who we are. We are energy. Nothing can stop you. So when you think large, when you think Jew, when you think I am capable, then guess what? You walk by dog poop and you start smiling and laughing and shouting and clapping and saying, Yay, I love dog poop.
So you're saying, Barry, that we are truly unlimited.
Absolutely. By definition, I'm going to prove it to you. May I prove it to you?
Yeah, please.
I was very curious recently. I'm doing a series of short 3 minute uh, recordings for Jewish kids around the world. They have about 10,000 listeners. It's really fun. I love talking, especially to kids. So I looked up something. How many cells in the human body? I mean, that's an interesting number. What is that? How many cells in the human body? And even I was amazed when I heard the number. I saw the number. Ready? 100 trillion.
Wow.
100 trillion cells in the human body? Excuse me. That's mind boggling, right? But wait a minute. I took it one step further. I said, I can't get my mind around it because that's just staggering, right? That's more money that's more than Elon Musk is worth, and everybody, and more than the United States GDP every year. Okay, I said, recently we sent out a probe into outer space, this great telescope to look and see new stars, right? So I looked up how many stars can we see now with this new far-reaching telescope. What did the number come back? 100 trillion.
Oh my gosh.
Now, we have a very important understanding in Judaism, and it is the following. To God may he be blessed. Magnitude is of no consequence. 100 trillion stars. And be aware, by the way, that the sun, our sun, is what's called a medium star. You hear that? There's 100 trillion of them. By the way, just as an aside, you can put the Earth how many times into our sun? 1 million. So 100 trillion stars, huge things, 100 trillion cells. There is no limit to what the human being can accomplish. When your thoughts are in good, your words are in good, your being is good, you are the essence of a Kadosh Baruch Hu. He made us. We're here to shine and to be and to share. I'll leave this with you. Share stands for spreading happiness and rejuvenating energy.
That is really, really fascinating. And thank you for that information and the correlation between the numbers of stars and the numbers of cells in the human body. That's really mind boggling. You also mentioned the importance of giving and the joy it brings. How can individuals cultivate a giving mindset and incorporate it into their daily lives? What do you say?
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. I call this practical gratitude. So remember, in my humble opinion, the joy of living is summed up in one word: giving. So when people hear the word giving, almost in by reflex, people think money. Okay, that's true. Giving of money is a wonderful thing. We also have an interesting clue that giving of time is as important, if not more important. Now, time is a wonderful acronym. It stands for, you ready for this? I want everybody
Yes.
to write this down. Time stands for thinking it's miraculous every day. Because that's what time is all about. We only, every human being, you have 24 hours in a day, God willing. What are you going to do with your 24 hours? You're going to have to sleep some part of it, but the rest of the time you're up and about. Now, what do you do with that time? Do you radiate smile? What does your face say about you? Because face is a great acronym. It stands for fresh, aware, creative, expressive. What does your face say about you? So let's say you hand somebody who needs some money, let's call it $5, $10, $20, whatever the amount is, $100, or you're giving somebody a loan. If your face is radiating at that time, then and your words are spoken in such a way saying, I'm so happy that I could be of benefit to you today. The words that you use, our Chazal tell us, are even greater than the money. You hear this? When you say to somebody, thank you for the opportunity to be of benefit. So I'm going to share with you now what I call practical gratitude. Practical gratitude is the following. The two most powerful words in the English language are thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank stands for to harmonize and nurture kindness. To harmonize and nurture kindness. So let's take a fun thing. Let's say you walk into the coffee shop and you order your fancy latte, you sit down, and somebody brings it to you. You say thank you, of course, right? Mensch. You walk in the coffee shop, you order a fancy latte, you sit down, a couple of minutes go by, nobody brings it. So you go to the counter, they say, I'm sorry, we're busy, we forgot, we'll bring it to you. Sit down, a couple more minutes go by, somebody brings it, you still say thank you, right? You're walking out of the coffee shop and it's raining out. Somebody holds the door open for you. Woo! You say thank you. You're walking out of the coffee shop and it's raining out and somebody slams the door on you. What do you say, Uzi? Thank you. You're in traffic. You're late for an appointment. Somebody cuts you off. What do you say? Thank you. You get up in the middle of the night and you stub your toe and it hurts. You say, thank you. To harmonize and nurture kindness. When you're doing that, when your thoughts are in good, your words are in good, and your deeds are in good, then you're thinking. I ask everybody, I plead with everybody that will listen. Say thank you 3 times a day, consciously and conscientiously. I mean, we say thank you regularly, but I'm talking about 3 times a day, consciously and conscientiously. Uzi, did I just lose you?
No, I'm
Hello?
still here. I don't know what happened.
Okay,
It's still
he's still here.
recording.
He just says he's still here, and I'm still here, and more importantly, you're still here because the show is all about you, remember. So you asked me practical. I say practical gratitude means to consciously and conscientiously say the words thank you 3 times a day from now and the rest of your life. You do that, you'll be happier, healthier, and wealthier. I guarantee it, or your money back.
That is amazing. Barry, as a successful entrepreneur, what are some key strategies you've implemented to achieve your multi-million dollar exits? How can our audience apply those strategies uh, to their own entrepreneurial endeavors? Because exits is something. It's a dream. Everybody wants to build something and have an exit, even though it's kind of contradict a lot. Because if you have a purpose and mission, and you build a company that reflects that purpose and mission, why would you want to exit it? You want to still be a part of it. You want to keep influencing. But even though it could be a stepping stone to move to your next endeavors, which should be bigger and better. But again, what can you share with us about exits, and how can our audience apply these strategies to their own entrepreneurial endeavors?
So, first of all, thank you for the opportunity because I'm sure that there are people listening, hopefully by the thousands, that are in business. And let's take a look at the word business. I was taught, thank God, many decades ago by my father, this very great insight into business. Business, of course, is spelled Business, correct? Notice, wonderful Uzi, and it happens to be in your name as well, that
Hmm.
the U comes before the I. You see, in business, it is absolutely fundamental to understand that you're there to serve. And the more that you can serve the other, the you, then by definition, everything will come to the I that needs to happen. But whether you have a restaurant, whether you have a chain of restaurants, a business, a chain of businesses, a burgeoning, beautiful business, think about serving the you before the I, and everything will happen as a result. You will, by definition, it's a law, you will be given wealth beyond imagining. So the 3 points that I have been blessed to understand in business. And this goes, by the way, whether you're an employee or an employer. See, employees tend not to think this way, so I'm going to shake up some employees right now. If you're an employee, you need to realize that you are a boss, if not the boss. How can I say that? Because you're the boss of your life. If you think that you are dependent upon someone else, then you are not in the right mindset. You're an employee, but you're the boss of your business. This is a fundamental and vital part of working in today's environment. And if you're an employer, it is absolutely fundamental to understand that you're the boss of you and not anybody else. Yes, of course, you can command some people, but it's much better to be creating an atmosphere at your place of business that is team oriented, that is there to benefit every single person involved in your business, because that's what's going to enable it to thrive. So there are three issues that I was given as a gift, again, by my father, and then people that I worked with and for over the intervening years. And they are three. The first one is honesty. Honesty, not just in the delivery of goods and services, but in everything that you do in the business environment. Honesty is fundamental. It is the building block that everything rests upon. And the correlation to honesty is what we call integrity. Now, nobody in my world, or nobody that I associate with today, but I've had situations in the past that this has happened, would ever even think of cheating anybody. Now, we know it happens, right? But we don't want to be involved with that kind of person or that kind of environment. So honesty leads to integrity. Integrity in how you speak, what you do, how you present, and never, ever even think that if by saying something just a little bit different, well, that's the way to get the business. No, the business will come because you're going to earn the business through honesty and integrity. And the next fundamental brick is absolutely crucial. If you have this, then with honesty and integrity, I guarantee your success. It's called self-confidence. Self-confidence, Uzi, in my humble opinion, is one of the most important aspects of business success. We have something in life called self-talk. You've heard about it, right?
Absolutely.
Well, self-talk is the most important speech you could ever hear. People hear things on the internet or the radio, the television from other people. And by the way, oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes, it's negative kind of talk. You don't want to be involved in that. Self-talk stands for the following: recognizing that you are a soul that is enabling to live life to the full. That's what self stands for. A soul enabling living life to the full. And talk stands for teaching always love and kindness. So the self talk that you want to use to yourself needs to be rooted in love and kindness. So if something happens that you feel was untoward, that wasn't to your benefit, you thought you had a sale, it didn't go through, it's too easy to beat yourself up. Self-talk says, okay, that's what happened. Now what? What are you going to do about it? And it needs to be done in a way that you're speaking to yourself in love and kindness. Uzi, I ask you, who was your biggest critic?
It's me, actually. You're right.
Thank you. So and again, this takes work. I call it the four-letter F word, the four-letter word that ends in K. You know the other four-letter word that ends in K, right? So this is work. This is work called building self-confidence by using your self-talk that is encouraging, that is building, that is oriented towards growing. A lot of people go to the gym, right? You know, people who go to the
Yeah,
gym and work out.
yeah, I
Well,
do. I do. I go like at least 3 times a week.
okay, the gym is spelled GYM, right?
Hmm.
Gym stands for growing your mindfulness. Growing your mindfulness. That's what the
Absolutely.
gym is for. So when you're at the gym working on yourself physically, I urge you to consider working on yourself mentally, spiritually, so that you're always working on yourself in the self talk of saying, I'm moving this so that I can be stronger physically, so that I can be stronger mentally, so I can be stronger spiritually. Growing your mindfulness. That's part of the reason to go to the gym, to practice this self talk that is always positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant. How do you like
That is,
that, Uzi?
I love that. So pretty much, the three things that you mentioned over here is honesty, integrity, and positive self-talk, which is also could be called like positive affirmation kind of thing, and increase your positive. Don't beat yourself up. The sale didn't go through. Your contract fell down. It's okay. Something bigger and better is coming. Just keep on the positive vibe, uh, and you will see positive results, which is pretty much what you're saying. But I want to keep on going here because you mentioned mental health, and you've been an activist,
Yes.
uh, in the mental health um, field. So, in your experience, what are some effective practices or techniques individual can adopt to enhance their mental well-being?
So, first of all, I'm so glad you used that. I prefer talking about mental wellness, mental well being, rather than mental health. And I'll tell you why. Words make a difference. Matter of fact, I'm looking right now on for some reason I can't see Uzi right now, but that's beside the point. But we can feel him, so I'm looking. It has to be that Uzi has a thumbnail of a very interesting person, a great guy, on his show here, and it's Bruce Lee. So if you're ever going to talk about mental wellness, Bruce Lee is one of the greatest people to speak about mental wellness, right? Because that is exactly where the battle of life lives. It is not in your fists or your muscles, it's in the mind. The mind is the greatest, how should we go, the greatest muscle that you have. Now, by the way, I also want to urge everybody that's listening, I am offering a free gift, no cost gift. You can go to my website. May I announce the website, wonderful Uzi?
Yes, absolutely. And just before you do that, I just want to let you know that we are live on Facebook on the Influencer Mindset page, and you can see me there. So if you want to open another browser, it's just that this the studio right now is kind of probably running out of memory on my browser, so it kind of took my picture off. So it will continue the podcast,
All
but eventually it will all work itself out. So please
Okay, as
continue
long as
with your
I
website.
see you, that's all I care about. So I urge everybody, you can go to my website, barryshore.com. First of all, there's a lot of great stuff there. Go to barryshore.com/ebook, and you can have, at no cost, a choice of one of my three current books. One of the books is called The Joy of Living. You deserve it. Another is the book of acronyms. You have 100 plus acronyms. They're a lot of fun, a lot of great, positive, purposeful, powerful plus one. And the third opportunity is my latest book called Oh Shift. So you can have one of those books as an ebook, absolutely no cost. So I urge everybody to take advantage of that because it's all about the T word. Remember, it's transformation. It's not just inspiration. It's not just information. It's transformation that makes all the difference. And it's just that slight shift and how you can use it. So let's talk about the mental wellness. Let's be very blunt. Barry Shaw was standing up in the morning, and in the evening, he was in the hospital completely, totally paralyzed. He was a quadriplegic. I would think that that qualifies as a shift in anybody's life. And the real key is, what do you do with that from the point of view of not just not getting depressed, but how do you create the shift that enables you to come through this? And I'm still working through it. As an example, those of you who are watching me now, I can't get up from this chair. I don't have, I'm still basically paralyzed from the waist down. But that's okay. In the course of gaining back what I can, upper body, I learned through wonderful, what's called aquatic therapy, being in the pool for over a year plus, almost 2 years, and moving my arms and such. I learned how to swim. You hear that? I swim, Uzi.
That's
I
awesome.
was able to do a backstroke, and now I can do a regular crawl. And with flotation devices on my legs and paddles on my hands because my fingers don't close, and a snorkel, I now swim 2 miles a day, 6 days a week. I've been doing it for more than 17 years. I have accumulated more than 9,153 miles, which is more than a third of the way around the world. And I'm working on situations right now to be able to join with some amazing, well-known, famous swimming partners to complete the 25 plus thousand or almost 25,000 miles so we can circumnavigate the world. But that's all part of mental wellness. So I'm going to drop for us what I consider one of the greatest insights into mental wellness that exists on the planet. And it's in Tehillim, interestingly enough. And it is an insight from the Vilna Gaon. So this is not Barry Shore, this is the Vilna Gaon. So it's authoritative. We have in Tefillah every day, we say in the morning the number, it's called number 100 Psalm. And it's the Ivdu, the 100th Psalm is Mizmor L'Soida or Mizmor L'Toida, depending on your pronunciation, right? Hori Hashem Kol Haaretz. And the next few words are the key. We sing these words. Ivdu es Hashem b'simcha. Am I right, Uzi?
Yes.
Ivdu es Hashem b'simcha. Bo lefanav binana. So when people hear that, Ivdu es Hashem b'simcha, we clap and we sing, depending what kind of minyan you're at. I sing and clap, even if I'm standing still, it doesn't matter. I'm singing and I'm clapping and I'm dancing. I can barely move my feet, but I do it. But here's where the insight comes that will give you mental wellness and give you that shift that you've been looking for transformation. Because the word besimcha, says the Vilna Gaon, are the same letters as machashava. Machashava means your mind.
Oh.
Everything begins with your mind. When your mind is in the right place, when your mind is in the proper way, and your mindfulness is growing, that is the root of simcha. Joy emanates from your mind, from your mental wellness. When you have machashava, that's positive, purposeful, powerful, pleasant, then you have besimcha, and everything about you radiates. People have asked me, Uzi, Barry Shore, have you ever had a bad day? And I'm going to answer you in a way that's going to startle everybody. Not since I'm 11 years old, have not had a bad day. What? You were paralyzed. You had this, all of that. Have I had a couple of, let's say, situations where I've had a bad, well, I wouldn't even call it bad, a challenging hour or two? Yes. Is that going to ruin my whole day? So imagine somebody gets up in the morning, things are happening, and you go out and you have an important appointment and you have a flat tire. Ah! Okay. Are you going to let that ruin your whole day? Okay. Maybe it's difficult for an hour, half hour, 10 minutes, depending on what you can do, how you respond. You get an Uber, can you have a friend? I mean, it's a matter of your understanding that life happens. What are you going to do about it? Remember those 6 words we talked about before? Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. How you choose to respond in any given situation. It's your mind that directs everything. Your mindfulness will enable your mental wellness to enable you to never, I mean, never have a bad day. Stuff will happen. Okay, what are you going to do about it? You're going to say, what's that Barry Shore say? What did that guy say? Oh, I'm going to choose to be positive or purposeful or powerful or pleasant because I can. I can. I have the power. Remember dog poop? Doing of good. The power of one person. You
I
have the ability to live, enjoy daily, no matter the circumstances.
I absolutely love it, Barry. This is really, really incredible, and thank you for sharing this really amazing tools, and also directing people for your free to get a free book. I know which one I'm getting for sure, but definitely I would recommend to get all three because this is really information that is transformative. Barry, the Keep Smiling movement has touched the lives of millions. Could you share some powerful stories of how the joy cards have made a significant impact on people's lives?
With pleasure and delight. So, if I tell you some of the stories, I can tell you that there are 21, at least 21 people that have written to us over the years that did not commit suicide because they either were given a Keep Smiling card or they found one on the street.
Wow.
At least 21. And
Wow.
we know
That's
that if
another book right there.
yeah, we know if 21 people do anything, that means 10 times that many didn't say anything. So I urge everybody go to my website just to go to the site, and you'll scroll down and you'll see the Keep Smiling cards that are being held by very famous people. We've touched a number of lives of very famous people, and you can also scroll down. You'll see a picture of Oprah Winfrey, and right next to her is a picture of a fellow. His name is Jack Canfield. Now, Jack Canfield is the co-author of a book series called Chicken Soup for the Soul. And I think most people have heard of Chicken Soup for the Soul because it is the second largest printing of books in the history of the world. The number one book being, of course, the Bible. How do you like that? Chicken Soup for
Wow.
the Soul, the series have sold more than 500 million copies. And Jack Canfield not only wrote the introduction to my book, The Joy of Living, and his partner, his other partner in the Chicken Soup series, whose name is Mark Victor Hansen. He wrote the introduction to my book called Oh Shift. So, but you look at that, and you should. I urge everybody to listen to the interview. It's about 8 minutes, and it's really a good interview. It's upbeat and such. But I tell the story of one of the people, Heather, who did not commit suicide because she literally was walking towards a building to jump off the roof. And as she's walking, she stepped on a blue card, which reads, Keep Smiling. And she says she doesn't even know why, but she looked down and she stopped. And people were walking by her on either side, Uzi, I'm making the story very short, saying, Good morning, hello, try and keep dry because it was raining out, it was cold out, it was a Monday morning. And she said she didn't know what to do. She just couldn't move. She said it felt like a half hour. It was probably, 38 seconds. And she bent down and picked up the card, looked at it, and said, Oh God, you have a very wild sense of humor. And she crushed the card, put it in her hoodie, turned around, and walked home. Now, that was a number of years ago. And she still struggles, by the way. She's here. She didn't get rid of herself. She still struggles. That's the power of a keep smiling card. And we are blessed to tell everybody that we have distributed more than 4 million of them throughout the world in 27 languages. They're available. You can go to the website, you can order them. Go to the website, again, barryshore.com, go up to the top, and it says keep smiling, movement or smile, or you can click on a picture of John Travolta right there and go to the Daily Smile, and you can order cards physically and give them out, which I encourage people to do. We don't charge anything for the cards. I just charge for shipping because we have to. But you can also send the cards around the world by email. And we did this because of COVID, because people weren't giving out things for a while. But by email, you can send as many as you want anywhere in the world. And we have cards now that don't just read keep smiling. We have cards that read, did I tell you today how much I appreciate you? Again, that card, I know for a fact, dozens and dozens and dozens of marriages have been either saved or continued because one of the partners gave that card to the spouse. Just like that. Did I tell you today how much I appreciate you, and signed it on the back? These cards make a difference. And we have dozens of these positive, purposeful, powerful, pleasant messages. And by the way, it all started with one card that was sent to me by a friend of mine, a rabbi from New York. Isn't that a great story? A rabbi from New York. He
That's
sent me a
amazing.
card in the mail 20 plus years ago. And when I got it, it was just a paper card that read, keep smiling, with a nice message in the back. When I got it, I called him. I said, Moshe, this is great. Do you mind if I copy it and give it out? And he laughed and he said, well, that's why I sent it to you. I knew you would do that. And from that one card, I printed 100 and then 1,000 and then 10,000 and then 100,000. As I said, we've given out more than 4 million and growing, growing. I'll give you one quick story. There's an 88-year-old woman, an amazing woman in Eretz Israel. She and her family take care of Kever Rachel. That's what her family does. She goes to the kotel every morning for Vasikin on the women's side. She has
Mhm.
personally distributed over 45,000 Keep Smiling cards in the past 10, 15 years.
Wow.
Amazing. Yeah, but that's the power of one person. Remember, we talked about dog poop. When anybody walks by dog poop now, you're going to smile, you're going to laugh. Your friends are going to say, wait, Todd, what are you laughing at? Hey, well, I heard Barry Shore and Uzi's show, and he said dog poop. Dog poop stands for, what was that again? Dog poop. Oh, yeah, doing of good, power of one person. And then you have something to talk about. The ability to share, to give. Share stands for spreading happiness and rejuvenating energy. And it's all going to redound to your benefit. You'll be happier. You'll be healthier. You'll be wealthier. I guarantee it. How you like
That
that,
is,
wonderful Uzi?
I don't like it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, that's a
So
great line. I like that.
it is absolutely such a blessing to spend this time with you here on a Sunday morning. Let's just say Sunday noon, afternoon, here in Los Angeles. But there is one more question that I wanted to ask you before we end this podcast, and it's about your remarkable achievements and success in various areas, from writing books to hosting a popular podcast to being an entrepreneur in different businesses. How do you balance your personal and professional life? And what advice do you have for our audience seeking a similar level of success and fulfillment?
Whew, what a great question. So if I may be so bold, I can just tell you what works for me, and I hope it will work for other people. I've often been amazed by people who know how to juggle. I don't mean just in life, I mean juggle. And I spoke to a friend of mine who's a professional juggler. He's also a professional speaker, and he's an author, and just a wonderful fellow with a great attitude, and he helps a lot of people. And he mentioned to me about what he calls the juggling the five balls. And I'm going to try and remember exactly the five balls. Of course, are, well, not of course, but they are. One of them is money. One of them is relationships. One of them has to do with health. One of them has to do with family, and one has to do with business. So business as distinct from just money. And he juggles these five different objects. And what he does is that two of them are glass, and the three others are rubber balls. And he's a professional juggler, so he can keep them going for a long time and speak, et cetera, et cetera. But every once in a while, he'll drop one. So if he drops one of the rubber balls, let's call that money. He said, okay, dropped a ball of money, can pick it up again. Then he drops another one, which is called health. That's a glass one. Oops. If you drop your glass ball and that's health, well, that's not easy repaired, and you can't pick it up again so simply, can you? In other words, people wake up and say, aha, I get that. And the same thing as he's talking when it has to do with family. You don't want to have those two drop because they become almost irreparable. So I say this because what you really want to do is create harmony. I prefer harmony to balance. They're very similar, but I prefer harmony to balance. And just make sure that everything goes through the filter, what I call the four P's. Four P's, of course, are: is your life positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant? Remember, some people don't like the word powerful. Wait a minute, powerful. Yes. Remember, power of one person. You are powerful. It doesn't mean you walk around with a club and you're hitting people. That's not power. That's the opposite of
Yeah.
power. Power is the ability to be and to influence people just by your very being. So you want to be positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant. Those are your filters. When those are in place, then when it comes to money, relationships, again, family, friends, co-workers, and the most important relationship of all, Uzi, is with what? With who?
With the creator of the universe.
Okay, that's good. Okay, you're really more religious than I am. With yourself. Yes, of course. We when you are in flow with all of these and in harmony, that's how you have a relationship with the creator of the universe. She wants you to be in flow. She wants you to be in harmony. So again, positive, purposeful. You lead a purpose driven life, you go mad, you make a difference in the world. Powerful, you have the ability, you have the power. And pleasant, hello. Life is joyful, life is fun, life is upbeat and wonderful. So that's how I approach the idea of what you call balance. I call it harmony, using the four P's as your filter. And when the four P's are in place, it's all working, and it works beautifully. It works so well. Life just becomes better when you're in harmony with the four P's.
That is absolutely incredible. And thank you very much. Very sure the ambassador of joy, a man that is just so powerful and so inspiring that makes everybody who touches him who listens to him, who buys his book, who gets inspired by him, a powerful individual, an unlimited individual. And I think that, Barry, you're doing an incredible job of really spreading your messages. And I want to tell you that I'm just really mind blown by this whole conversation, and it was really remarkable. It was way beyond my expectation, and I just can't be more happy. And thank you so much, Barry. Any last words today for our audience before we end this podcast?
Yes, with your permission, I'd like to do a hug with everybody and give a blessing. Can we do that?
Absolutely.
Okay, let me tell you what HUG stands for. HUG stands for heartfelt, unlimited giving. Heartfelt, unlimited giving. On the count of three, you and me, Uzi, and all the thousands and thousands of people that are watching and will be sharing. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And
Wow.
our blessing from Uzi and Barry is go forth, live exuberantly, spread the seeds of joy, happiness, peace, and love. Go mad. Go make a difference.
Thank you so much, Barry Shore. With only great news. We'll be in touch. We'd love to have you again on this podcast in the future. We'll always be in touch. Thank you so much for today, and have a fantastic Sunday. Take good care. We'll talk to you soon.
Best
Bye
wishes,
bye.
everybody.
Bye bye.